Hello. Just before today's podcast, me and Ewan have got a little preview for you, a little game that we're going to be playing on today's podcast. Jacob is unaware, so it's our little secret. We've got this little game of bingo set up. So
yes,
we're going to have the scoreboards. You'll be able to see them on our screen. Obviously, Jacob won't be able to see anything. And it is based on things Jacob might say or refer to or do during the podcast. I think we've got 4 each that we've decided on, and it's going to be whichever things Jacob does first. We're going to shout out bingo.
Yeah, so keep an eye on the tally and the big forfeit as well.
Yeah, 50 quid. We've got 50 quid right on
for
this.
the winner. So just keep an eye out in it.
Big stakes.
We'll be ticking them off, and then all of a sudden, bingo, and someone wins.
And it is going to be great because Jacob is going to have no idea what's going on.
So,
all right.
Hope you enjoy the video.
Yeah. See you
in a sec.
Welcome to the podcast. It's your 3 favourite people back again with some more amazing football stuff. Manchester Derby.
It
was. It's an L for the first time. City have taken an L, and I'm kind of glad that they finally lost the game because I was getting a bit worried about the fact that they were just, steamrolling everybody. I had a feeling United we're gonna. You weren't worried?
No. I wasn't happy. We could have been within 1 point of Man United if we win against Everton, but anyway.
You haven't played them yet. You might lose. You never know.
Yeah. So
the thing is, I had an idea that United were going to win. Solskjaer has got a pretty good record against Man City. He hasn't lost them very much. And even when United have been in the worst form, I don't understand. They could be the most clapped form. Yeah, they could be getting battered by Wi-Fi passwords in Europa League, but somehow they will still pull a masterclass against Pep Guardiola.
They were so bad against Crystal Palace in midweek, the 0-0 draw, and they were pretty poor against Chelsea as well. And they were boring in both of those games. That's the main thing. And they just turned up. They were so good. This is the best I've seen Man United play this season, and for a long time. I mean, they were just all over the pitch. Every play was excellent. The midfield controlled possession so well when they wanted to, and they counter-attacked so well. It was a really pretty perfect performance against Man City.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what the power of the derby really means. I think it's been a bit neglected recently, ever since the Arsenal-Tottenham thing kind of cooled down. Do you know what I mean? People didn't really talk about what a derby sometimes means, but I think the thing with Manchester is because it's such an important footballing area, like Manchester's such a big thing now, globally, that it's probably the most important derby now. Probably in Europe, to be honest, because those 2 teams now are titans, at least in the Premier League. Man City being a titan in Europe, and United being a titan, maybe. But you have to understand that this is it's just a big game, isn't it? Like, you don't see that very. I've lost where I was going, but you get what I'm saying.
It's the thing is, you were saying about kind of derbies losing their feel of recent times, and that's obviously been really exacerbated by the pandemic, and there's been no fans in stadiums, and derby's all about the fans, the atmosphere at the stadium, and in particular in Manchester derbies, things get really riled up with the fans, and it's always really crucial for the fans to get behind teams in games like this. So there hasn't really been that feeling around derbies in the last year and a half. Yeah. But there definitely was a big game feel about this. And the good thing was that rather than 2 teams who just wanted to make sure they didn't lose, they both went out to actually try and win the game, which is, you don't see that very much anymore in big games in the Premier League. But,
and you just don't do that? They just don't do that.
When United really went for that game, I was quite surprised. I had a feeling they were just going to park the bus, and when the Fernandes penalty went in, I had a feeling again that they were just going to sit back, relax, feet up, come at us. And to be fair, they didn't. They had a lot of good chances. I thought it should have really been 3-0. Martial missing a terrible one. Should have really put away. And City, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just United's pressing was just that good, or what, but they just couldn't get a grip of the game. KDB shut out.
I think even if they played another like 390 minutes worth, I still don't think Man City would have been able to score because they just could not put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, Sterling, how many times did he miss the flipping target? Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a big lack of composure, mainly in the front of goal from City. Sterling had 2 big chances, and probably should have scored both of them. One, he just completely missed the ball, and then terrible header. Foden had a couple big chances where he just didn't seem, the first one swung and missed wildly, and the second one just didn't seem to have the confidence to hit it quickly, and lost control of it. And it kind of was just the same story. Like, their build-up play consistently, particularly in the last 15 minutes, was really good, and you had Mahrez and De Bruyne putting in some really good balls, and then there was just a lack of composure from the forwards, and they just couldn't trouble Dean Henderson at all.
Yeah, fair play to Dean Henderson as well. I mean, he's literally coming out of nowhere because of De Gea's situation. He had a baby, so he couldn't play.
Yeah,
and he's got a clean sheet. Fair play to him. Didn't have a lot to do, but I mean, he still turned up when needed, which is always good.
Yeah,
and honestly, I think what this is as a whole is just the United thing is. This is something that can't be bought. Like, this sort of culture and desire to want to beat your rivals is something that I don't really think City have, because they're fairly new, I guess, and they've received money recently, and their history is only like 20 years old, so they haven't really had the desire to want to beat their rivals. Like, I don't like United have, which United have always wanted to be the biggest club in the country,
which is why a lot of Manchester fans will say Man City's like their little brother. It's Liverpool that are the big derby for them, whereas Man City go, we want to make this a derby, but just have never performed.
It's not good enough. They don't want it enough. They don't. I think they still have that. They've still got that inferior mindset, I think. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry, City fans. I don't know nothing like 4 of you, but
they don't quite have the mentality of Man United. And I think part of that comes from, as you said, just having been a massive club for so long. United, there's a sense of like massive pride and self-worth. They fully always believe that they should be the best team, even if they haven't been for 8 years now. They've still got that mentality, and we've seen it with Man City. It's happened a few times in big games over the years where this kind of almost inferiority complex has been an issue, particularly in big European games and big Champions League games. And they just haven't, been able to reach that final hurdle in the Champions League, which would really fully establish themselves if they could win the Champions League as European heavyweights.
Because they spent so much money as well, and you think that with the amount of money they spent and the manager they've got as well, who's done it consistently, winning Champions Leagues, they should be an established European power right by now. And to a degree, they are. I mean, it's not like people don't fear them when they got in the Champions League. But, they haven't really got anything to show for it yet.
Yeah, but I think moving swiftly on now, there's been some controversy surrounding your club recently in their most recent match against Burnley. We know how much you hate the officiating in the league, so I'll hand it over to you for your daily refereeing rant.
Listen to me, right? Are you listening? wet wipe of the week. It's back again. Yeah? Do you know who it is? Can you just? Do you want to have a guess? Do you want to have a guess who this week's wet wipe of the week is? I'm going to say the name because I don't know if you know who was behind the VAR, but it was a referee who was behind it. I was just trying to find out because I can't remember who it was. I think it was Michael Oliver, but I don't know. Either way, whoever was behind that refereeing, you, sir, disgrace. Honestly, right now I know they weren't discussing this the day before in the handball thing, but you've talked about the handball rule. You've brushed up upon it. And I know that was only for attacking handballs, but you've at least thought about the defensive handballs. That is so clear. As a handball...
It's not a penalty, though.
Do you know what? Before I started this, I was going to... I made a bet with myself. I was like, how quickly would it take you to disagree with me?
It wasn't, though.
How quickly would it take... How? please tell me how. I beg you, tell me how.
So no, I want someone out there.
No,
I might even do it myself,
Just
right?
say
But I want
how.
someone to go and
I want
find
you to
the
say-
clip
I
where
want
you
to
argue
say-
about the Wolves
I
one.
want you to tell me how that wasn't a penalty. Just tell
Because
me. Because I
he's-
feel like you're doing this for the sake of it.
The
I feel
ball.
like you're doing this for the sake of it, to be honest.
No. Now hear me out. Right, there's two reasons.
Okay, I'm listening.
Reason number one, right? He's running, so he's got to keep his balance, which is what you said for the Sace one against Leicester.
Listen, the
no,
problem
Kilman,
is
sorry.
you're thinking too logically.
Right.
VAR doesn't use logic. None of them have a brain. Do you understand that? Do you
No,
understand
but
the problem isn't the logic behind it, because if you're going to go through logic, you're probably right. But that isn't the issue.
No, but
it's
that's
the
not-
inconsistency of VAR.
No,
because
the issue-
that would have been given 9 times out of 10.
the issue with some of these are fans, right? Because
No, it's not.
Because
How?
hear me out, right? So you, right, at the start of the season, Max Kilman gives away a penalty against Leicester City. Your argument was, no, what was it? Yeah, that shouldn't have been a penalty because he's moving out. He couldn't see the ball. It was too quick at him. Which, bearing in mind, the Max Kilman one was further away. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So this is my point.
So
though.
you've changed your argument
this is
then
my
completely.
Point. This is my point, because we're not really, we shouldn't have an argument here. The argument is VAR is dumb because they're not consistent. If you're going to give that one as a penalty, so should that one.
After that, it was all cleared up. After that incident,
but
it was cleared
up though.
It
wasn't, because things
was
happen
stated.
all the time.
No, it was stated. No, because the new rule now is to do with can he get his hand out of the way quick enough? Because let's be realistic, it was about 30 centimeters away the ball from his hand.
Oh my God.
So he
His
couldn't
hand
have done
shouldn't
that.
have been there. His hand was there to
How was he going to keep his balance?
It wasn't for balance. No, it wasn't for
your
balance.
arguments before
It
were how
wasn't for
the
balance,
defenders
though.
meant to run
It
around with their
wasn't
arms
for
behind the back. I
balance.
want someone to find the clips
It
of
wasn't
this.
for balance, though. It wasn't for balance. Are you listening? It wasn't for balance.
I'd love people to find the clip.
Can I finish? Thank you. It wasn't for balance. He had his arm out to tell my man, yo, that's Pepe, yeah? That guy's a mad baller. Can you stand over there so that when he mugs me off, he doesn't mug you off as well? That's what he's doing. Because he knows Pepe's got sauce. Do you know what I mean? So obviously he's got his hand out telling him, bro. Do you know what I mean? So he's got his hand out and Pepe's like, okay. On his hand, Mane did it in the Champions League final. I rewatched the Champions League final actually the other day. Clip highlights, not the whole thing. I haven't got that much.
But the rules have changed
That's
since
literally
then.
how
The rules have changed.
But the rules change every 5 minutes. Kante did the similar thing a few weeks ago. But this is the problem. Why do the rules?
Yeah,
change every
and it
5
wasn't
minutes?
a penalty.
frustrating. Does anybody honestly know the handball?
So hold on. So Kante did the same thing, right? It wasn't a penalty.
But his hand.
Yeah, you just
wasn't
agreed with that.
in
So
a
hold
natural
on.
position
Hold on a second.
Because Kante is going for balance. This guy's pointing his hand.
No,
He's pointing his hand out. His hand's out.
No, but
Nobody. Don't make me stand up. If I stand up in this podcast,
no,
I'm gonna,
but I'm just
it's gonna be a problem.
pointing out your
Because if I have to
argument.
stand up and demonstrate how
No,
this
because
is a handball,
you have literally just
I'm
argued. Nah,
This is
lad,
how
this
my
is
guys do it. I'm doing it now. Don't worry, you can't see
You
it. He's got his arm
argued
out.
about consistency.
My guy's
Yeah,
about to do
two
that.
decisions
Tweet-
you've just
tweet
mentioned were the
celebration.
same.
His arm out here. He's got his arm out, right? His arm's out pointed. Nobody does that position ever. Nobody.
Right.
When defenders are doing that, usually you have your hands behind your back. Plenty of defenders.
You
do that.
literally, at the start of the season, argued about they shouldn't have to.
Plenty
You
of
literally
defenders-
argued.
Plenty of
This
defenders
guy.
will do that.
Aye,
Plenty of defenders.
It's
will
whatever
scream.
suits Arsenal the
Plenty
best.
of
It's whatever
defenders.
suits Arsenal,
It's
is what
not
Jacob.
suits
It is.
Arsenal.
It is.
No, it's not.
This is
No, it's not.
ridiculous.
I can't wait to get shafted by VAR, and I can just. I'm just gonna smile. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna smile and look. I'm just gonna
There's
smile and look.
plenty of
Because
times
this
you
is-
said that
because
shouldn't
this
be a
is
handball,
ridiculous.
but as
This
soon
is
as
a
it's
ridiculous
Arsenal, it's
conversation.
handball.
It isn't. It isn't. No, because
It
we've been
is.
getting shafted for time. We've been getting shafted since day one, and I've told you this. I've told you this since day one. First game of the season, we've been getting shafted. I'm telling you now, we are genuinely. Now, I'm not one for conspiracies. I'm not saying it's conspiracies. I'm saying it's stupidity, incompetence, ridiculousness. This is craziness. This is honestly terrible refereeing. You don't see this anywhere else. You don't see this in Bundesliga. Yeah? I just watched a Bundesliga game. I don't know why I'm saying all of that. I watched Bayern Dortmund. Yeah? Penalty. Penalty. Is that penalty? Yeah, cool. Yellow card? No. Red card? No. All right, cool. Penalty. Take it. Lewandowski bangs it. No questions. No one's arguing about it. Nobody says anything. Why is it only in this flipping country where people are always having disputes to a day later about whether or not it's a penalty? And I'm arguing about it on the podcast. As if you know about VAR.
I am just stating what you have said in the past.
The thing is, though, is that the fact we have to have this argument in the first place shows how stupid VAR is, because neither of us are going to agree. We're never going to agree. We're always going to disagree. That's why this podcast is so great. But honestly, right, we shouldn't have to have an argument here. We should just both agree how VAR works, because it's so rubbish. It's so dead.
Nah, I don't think it's VAR in the
English debate. Remember in English when you had to debate Macbeth's motives, Shakespeare's meaning behind it. We have to interpret. Is that what we're doing now?
But let's be honest. We're hitting the same issue we had before VAR, right? Different referees have different opinions. Right,
it's always
different interpretations. And VAR is just a magnifying glass on top of it.
The problem is cool. Refereeing, in any sport, I don't care what sport it is gonna have some base of opinion. Fine, because everyone's different. No one is the same. The problem is with UK refereeing is that it is so heavily reliant on that referee's opinion that it ruins the sport's consistency of the rules.
But you won't ever be able to stop that.
No,
that's not possible.
You can't. You're right. You can't. But you can minimize it, because if you look at the sports in America, we watched Super Bowl a few weeks ago. It's based on opinion, but only to a certain extent. This one seems so heavy on opinion in the UK.
Yeah, because that's the sport, though.
Of a red card, a yellow card. Is it going to be a penalty or not?
No, but that's because of the depth of the sport, though.
No, it's not about the depth of the sport.
It is.
Italy, Germany, Australia.
No.
A-League has got better refereeing than us.
What I'm trying to say to you is, like, a dive, for example. If someone gets tapped, you don't know whether they're technically diving. Most of the time, they are diving for it, but they've still made contact. So are they actually just falling over because of it?
Diving thing, we're going to go into another kind of words, because that's another.
No, I know. But you can't tell whether they're doing it on purpose or not.
The whole point in VAR was to minimise the use of the referee's opinion to dictate the way the game was going to go, because that game was essentially cost us 2 points.
I think it's more to make sure that it's an accurate decision on small details.
You're taking the referee's opinion away and putting it into the hands of technology. But the problem is that you're still giving it to the referee's opinion, who's just as terrible, because you're giving it to another referee who's sitting in Stockley Park, who could be 500 miles away from the ground. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but just to move on and make your blood sugar levels rise even higher, another stupid decision, Shaka. What? That could have been easily.
Listen, I when I watched that, obviously I sleep in it, so set an alarm. Oh, I also get an early kickoff. Set an alarm. 12:25, 5 minutes before, chill in bed, watch it on my iPad. I sat there and watched my guy do that twice. I rewatched it, and I was like, I sat there, didn't move. I was honestly in shock. I was frozen. I honestly couldn't believe the guy, because when you watch it the second time, it's even worse. It feels like a kick in the teeth, because when you watch it a second time, you get to digest what rubbish you have just seen. Right? I couldn't believe it. The guy looked at him. He looked at Chris Wood. Yeah, Chris Wood. He looked at him. And he was like, all right, there's a guy there. I've got time. Leno's there. And my guy's like, do you know what? I could hoof up field. I could give it to Leno to hoof up field. I could give it to anybody else. But nah, I want to bend it like Beckham around him and give it to Callum Chambers. And guess what? Did you know Granit Xhaka isn't David Beckham? And guess what he didn't do? Guess what he didn't do? He didn't bend it like Beckham. And guess what happened? We conceded the goal. Listen,
it's a great assist.
Because I don't want to slate Xhaka too much, because honestly, Xhaka's been one of our best and most consistent players. Well, I won't say consistent. I will say he's been one of our better players this season. He's played every single match. I think like the last 18 or 19 games, and he's honestly been fairly solid. And sometimes, and the problem is his reliability in terms of he makes mistakes, he gets yellow cards, he gets red cards, he makes mistakes and he causes fights, and that's.
Just casual stuff.
Just casual. What is this? I'm done now.
Have a free goal. Here you are, lads.
Even Chris Wood didn't know. Did you see his face? He's like, all right, we move. Cool. So then we just park the bus in it, because that's what they did. Oh, they just parked the bus.
The most annoying thing is that, you know, you can debate about the handball controversy all you want. It shouldn't have mattered. You should have won the game anyway.
No. I mean, yeah, Pepe missing some
chances. And Saka missed a pretty big chance early on as well. But, like, at the end of the day, you shouldn't have conceded that goal. It should have been, you know, it could have been just a 1-0 win. Not particularly impressive, but 3 points and a clean sheet. But it's just that one moment of stupidity that, like, I think Xhaka's got quality, you know, and he's a lot of the time he's actually a really good passer of the ball. But for you to really push on as a team, like, you need to have someone who is not a constant threat of making such a stupid mistake, because you always have that feeling with Xhaka that something's going to happen. It's he's like Serge Aurier.
I mean, I don't really want to say this, but to be fair to him, Leno put him in the bin to start it off with. Leno could have just
No. Listen. We've had this thing before. I think I said this on Xbox before. This is how we play. We play like this. We
he should be expecting it.
You've got to be ready. You have to be ready to get pressed.
I understand what
you're saying. Burn who don't get many chances, they're gonna press you.
No, I get what you mean, but there's even like the best team, like Man City. You essentially try and play like a Man City style of play, pass it around the back and push through teams. But there's a time to get rid of a ball, no matter what. No matter if you're prime Barca.
That's not a Leno.
I think
it's just bad as each other.
I think you can fairly criticise Leno because maybe he should have just got rid of it that situation and recognised that there were people closing in on Xhaka. But at the same time, Xhaka should be aware of the situation around him and ready to receive the ball should Leno make that decision. And
because he's asked for the ball theoretically.
Yeah, and he's looked at him. The thing is, Sam, he's basically aware because he's seen him. He's looked at him, double take.
Yeah.
Alright, cheeky assist. Leaving that mess at Ozil. Get out of here. Well, we didn't get a 1-0 win, but you know who did get a 1-0 win? Fulham.
That is true.
At Liverpool's own place. This is mad. I think it's like the third podcast we've spoken about Liverpool losing at home. They've lost 6 games in a row. This is the worst they've ever had in their history. Yeah. Rate that segue, by the way. That was absolutely smooth.
That was sensational.
Oh, scintillating.
I'm not going to lie. I thought we were talking about the same topic. It was that smooth.
You wasn't even there. He wasn't even on the adventure with me. He wasn't here. Yeah, but obviously, Liverpool just capitulating, honestly. It's a bit worrying for them. I don't know what happens here because, you know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and the game before that against Chelsea, they were not in a good space. We ruined them.
They really weren't. I mean, you did play really well against them. Liverpool did want it. It wasn't like they were playing lazy, and I never think they do play lazy. Maybe Salah because he just dives all the time. I feel like he's given up sometimes. When he just dives, it just feels like he's trying to get an easy way out, and it never works. He just gets memed. There's always, have you seen those memes of them flipping sniper memes where someone just snipes him and he just falls on the floor? That's how bad it's become now.
Yeah.
Bro, just
because he can't get anything else, though, can he? At the minute,
but he can. This is the thing. This guy has the record for most Premier League goals in a season. This isn't just some random don who's just come in from Egypt and thought, I'm going to just dive and say inshallah and get a bunch of penalties. No, this guy's actually got quality. So I don't know why he keeps diving like this. He can do it.
Yeah. The thing is, I definitely get what you're saying, and the diving with Salah is a bit of an issue, but like. I think there are bigger issues, you know, than Salah. At the end of the day, Salah is way down the list of issues right now for Liverpool. For one, Mane and Firmino have been really poor recently. I mean, we kind of expected it at this point from Firmino. He's been on decline for a couple of years, but like Mane has just fallen off a cliff, and I have no idea why. Because you wouldn't think of him as the kind of guy to be massively affected by confidence. You know, for one thing, he's been playing so well for so many consistent years that he's just he should just have that mentality. And as you said, he generally comes across as a very humble guy, very down to earth. And you kind of feel like he's got the strong enough mentality to just get through a rough patch, but he's just not having any impact on games at all.
No, it's worrying because it just seems like a one-horse race, which could really explain why Salah's doing what he's doing. He's not getting the creativity in the service.
Yeah, he's not getting any support. Like, he is still top scorer in the Prem.
I mean, when you deep it like last season,
considering
Yeah, I know, but
the service he's
when you
getting.
think of like last season, he used to have like Mane serving him. Firmino used to serve him, and sometimes Firmino does serve him up, makes some good assists, but they're few and far between. Not to mention he had Robertson on the reverse on the diagonal pass, and he had Trent doing little through balls for him. And neither of them are really okay, but Trent has not been himself this season.
The thing is that the two positions you haven't mentioned are the positions that they've struggled the most in.
Yeah.
And everyone's going, oh yeah, our two centre backs we haven't got there, and that's why you're not scoring. Like they're actually like just blaming it on the fact that they've got so many injuries. They've still got their best front three. They've still got their best right back and left back that were most assists, pretty much.
Yeah.
They've got Thiago that he hasn't been playing very well, but is in his profile he should be. That team should still be able to contest with Man City.
Yeah, I think they should certainly still be in the top four. Losing 1-0 to Fulham, their results against the likes of West Brom, and obviously 6 home losses in a row is just abysmal. They are definitely underperforming massively, and they're getting unlucky at some points. Like you can look at the expected goals and stuff and say, oh well, they've generated a lot of chances that aren't going in. But it gets to the point where you're like, there's a deeper problem here than just bad luck. Something serious is going on.
Have you got to start looking at Klopp? I mean, some of his decision. I mean, I'm not a Premier League manager nor a normal manager, or whichever way around I meant to say it. Either way, but he's completely changed. He made 7 different changes, but essentially weakened the side. Which you could say, oh yeah, it wasn't working, but you don't make 7 changes typically. And then you're losing 1-0 to Fulham, so let's bring on a CDM. Because, there's just an attacking player that helps us there. Let's bring on a right back. Yeah, the right back that they had was still creating opportunities for them. So where's the boost there? Surely you bring on like Curtis Jones or Oxlade-Chamberlain, someone in the attack.
With energy.
Yeah, I honestly forgot they're still there. I forgot Ox is still there. He hasn't played very often. And the problem as well is okay, can we start talking about Thiago now? Because, come on. I know you guys have to back this done, but no goals, no assists, 54,000 thumbs up.
Yeah, no, but he should be. It's not like he's not there. But he should be able to do this. Like he should be able to be one of the best players.
He doesn't even really create many key passes. Like he's not really creating any challenges.
He slows everything down for them. And
yeah, he does.
There's arguments that he doesn't. There's clear opportunities where he has passed it backwards, and you can go, oh well, he's passed forwards more than Henderson and all this and that. But it's the key opportunities where he could have passed it forwards that could have ended up in a goal, whereas he passed it backwards. Whereas if everyone's behind the ball and he passes it forwards, that's not really helping them anymore. Whereas when you're on a counter-attack, it's those key moments where he has to pass it forwards where Henderson would. Not that, oh, I've just tapped it forwards for a teammate for it to tap it back and I'll tap it back forwards for him. So, he slows down their attack, which is arguably Liverpool's biggest threat.
I do get that Thiago's not playing at the level that you'd expect from him. Because his years at Bayern, he was a world-class midfielder. But I don't think judging him by goals and assists or even key passes is really the way to go. Because you can look back on all his years at Bayern Munich and Barcelona, that's not what he does. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a creator, really. His key passes are generally decent. They're above average for midfielder, but that's not his main job. And blaming him for their creativity issues, I don't think is really like the main thing. And I think he's kind of become a scapegoat, in my opinion, because he's come into the team right as their form has crashed. So it's easy to put 2 and 2 together and say, well, Thiago's come into the team.
Coincidence? I think not.
Liverpool's form was dropped.
But
Thiago must be the issue. But
I swear he's only won 1 game with Liverpool.
But
he hasn't won a game.
He has won. He has 1 game.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's won a game.
He's not won many. But kind of like I said with Salah before, I don't think he's anywhere near the top of the issues that they have.
There's more issues.
There's
definitely.
the focus on Thiago over so many more bigger things. Kind of. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. But it
they've got no loyalty
me.
to him yet. Whereas the other players have won the league with him. They don't care if they throw him under the bus. Whereas you don't want to throw Salah under the bus because he's still your top goal scorer, and you're not going, oh, it's all Salah's fault type thing. Whereas Thiago, who's this guy? He's came in the summer, done absolutely nothing for us. So let's just have a go at him.
I think if
the thing
Thiago,
is you could argue they didn't. If they were going to go for someone like Thiago, and if he is the player you're describing him as, you could argue they didn't really need him. I think they already had options like him already in the squad.
The thing is,
they would have just played Henderson in the role.
I think the most similar players to him in their team are Wijnaldum and Henderson in the way that he wants to play. And right now, like for a lot of the time, particularly, he was playing in a midfield three with Wijnaldum and Henderson, and so you've got three players who are all very similar, and there's not a whole lot else going on. So I think that's to the detriment of him in one part, because, like you said, in that sense, he's not really needed. I think he's better. I think he's much better than Wijnaldum. But I think if Thiago would come in
anyway, so
exactly. Well, yeah, Thiago's Wijnaldum's gonna leave at the end of the season. It looks like
they needed someone in their replacement.
But if Thiago had come in at the start of the season and been fit at the start of the season and come into a full strength Liverpool team, and he could settle in a full strength Liverpool team, I think there'd be a very different narrative around him. I think he'd have settled a lot quicker and he'd probably be playing a lot better.
The thing is, you don't have time, and especially this season, he has to be almost instantly working.
And you think, I agree. And I think when you sign someone from the Champions League winners as well, you think he would just fit in easy.
Yeah. It takes time for anyone.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, but you've won the Champions League. Like, you've just beaten you're the best team in Europe.
But you could say, you could say that. But also, let's just go from the Bundesliga players that came into the Prem. Timo Werner, you'd say in Chelsea, he should be one of the top goal scorers in the Prem from what he had the season before. Kai Havertz had an incredible season. There's so many players that don't do well, and there's loads of players that do well.
Do you know what we need? We need, right, whenever there's a new signing from a foreign country, we just need to take them all, like, on a bus to Stoke, get them on a cold, rainy night, and whoever can hack it, right, we'll do like those draft picks. Do you know in America they do them draft picks where you have to, like, pick the draft? It's like, can I have it? How did you fare at Stoke on a cold, rainy night? Well, I got an assist, but Thiago got 3. Oh, that's peak.
See you later, lads.
Go back now. See ya. That's what you do. That's how you find out, innit? Really, you can hack it there. You can do it anywhere.
I think you've got to give most players that have came in at least a season to settle. It's in terms of social aspect, they're not going to have any because of the situation in the UK at the minute, so they can't get comfortable. Sure. Which could be playing on players' minds that they're not comfortable in their home life, new environment. But for Liverpool, it's a must win. They're all must win games now. I mean, they have to.
Can you see them turning it around you?
I don't think they're getting Europa League. I've said this probably about since Christmas.
Europa League? You don't think they're getting Europa League either?
No, maybe not Christmas actually. But no, I don't think they're getting Europa League. I think that the only way they're getting Champions League now is if they win the Champions League, which I think is what Klopp is going for, which is such a risky move.
It looks pretty unlikely. Like they will probably, unless they absolutely collapse against Leipzig, I think it's this week, then they will go through to the next round. But after that, like, I think Bayern would easily beat them in the form they're in. PSG would easily beat them. Yeah, and Van Dijk will be probably back by the end of the season, but it depends like whether they've already gone out by that point.
Their defense isn't the problem though. They're not scoring goals. It's all well and good drawing a game 0-0, but that's not. I think it would still. I think having Van Dijk back there would be a massive boost for them. Just because, for one thing, it would allow them to stop playing a load of midfielders and centre back, a bit more stability and familiarity in the midfield return if you had Fabinho and Henderson available there. And plus he's the most important leader along with Henderson in that team, and Henderson may be out for the rest of the season. So now they're really lacking leadership at a time when they really need leadership more than ever before. And Van Dijk's a massive leader there, and his mentality is crucial for them. I just think you look at the Champions League teams that are most likely going to go through, and realistically, and me as a Chelsea fan would probably say the only team at the minute they'd be able to beat, or would have been able to beat, is Chelsea out of that group just before this has all happened. And I don't think Chelsea will smash them in the Champions League if we got them. Watch that come back and bite me. But there's not many teams. Like, if you look at the teams out there, Chelsea were supposedly meant to be one of the weakest ones in the champion, and we've turned that around. And all the other teams are doing really well, apart from the Spanish ones. But
at the end of the day, like,
be in there.
You know, I've said it before. Anything can happen in the Champions League. Any of the teams in there could still win it, except for Porto, probably. But like Chelsea, very difficult team to beat. Very good defensively now under Tuchel. Very good manager tactically. Showed that against Atletico Madrid, for example. And then there's so many great attacking teams in there, like PSG, like Bayern Munich. It's like there's many teams that could win the Champions League this season, but I don't see Liverpool being one of them.
No, I think it'd be Man City, personally. I think they'll
and I wonder who's going to carry them. It could be that Wonderkid, Phil Foden. Speaking of Wonder Kids, let's talk about our favourite Wonder Kids, because we did a little list for you, Don, because we love you out here at the podcast. We take care of you. Yeah? These are things that you like, apparently, according to the View statistics. So we did a list of our top 5 players in the Premier League that are 20 and under.
Yep.
And we're going to review them.
21 of them.
It's the under 21s. The academic year.
I think
about this.
I'm pretty sure all of mine are 20 years old anyway.
Yeah.
So don't ask me.
Yeah. Ewan doesn't know what he's doing, so we'll give him a block. But
I've just picked out a random list that someone's put on the internet and just gone, that'll do.
Lovely. Should have said that. No one's going to take you seriously. But we should start with our 5th person. I'll go first.
All right.
My 5th best under 20 and under player is Hudson-Odoi. Actually, I think he's been great this season. I think under Tuchel, he's been good, and he's always had it. He's had an injury.
It's quite mad that Odoi, what he could have been if he didn't get injured, to what because an Achilles injury, it slows him down, if anything, because of his pace, and he's still got it. But I didn't go for Hudson-Odoi. I've gone for Fofana.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about Fofana. He has been incredible this season for Leicester's sort of like, they wouldn't be where they are really without Fofana.
Yeah.
100%. And I actually originally had him in my other list, because we did under 19 and I realised he wasn't 19. I took him out and I just never put him back in. But Fofana's a good pick, actually. I thought about Fofana.
For my 5th pick, I actually also went Wesley Fofana. Like you said, it's been real shock in that he came in at he was kind of like in the shadow of William Saliba at Saint-Etienne. So everybody was talking so much about Saliba as the big Wonderkid centre-back to come out of there. And really this season it's been Fofana who's established himself as a top Premier League centre-back, and Saliba's not even got a minute at Arsenal. So
which I can't believe.
Oh yeah, I mean Saliba really unjustly left out in the cold and doing well at Nice.
So good at Nice. Yeah.
So I hope we see a lot more of him next season. He certainly deserves it. But yeah, Wesley Fofana, really solid, really important to Leicester's Champions League push this season. Really surprising as well.
Well, from Wesley Fofana to number 4, I don't know. I thought I could squeeze like a joke in there, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Wesley Fofana.
Wesley Fofana.
There you go.
There we go. It was there somewhere. I just couldn't pick it out. You got it for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 4, I actually put. I just feel so dirty for this. Honestly, I just feel so disgusted. But I said Mason Mount.
You're going to struggle there. He's not 20.
Yeah, I don't know where you've got that from.
He's just 22. He's 22, lad.
Is he 22?
Yeah.
All right. I change it then, and I'm going to say Fabio. I can't even say Fabio Silva because he's not actually been that good. This is embarrassing.
Do you want me to drop a name in there that you could put in?
Fofana as number 4.
You can do, but
If you-
I was gonna.
Yeah, just throw Wesley Fofana as number 4. Like, why not?
That's terrible. That is. I'm disappointed in myself. Honestly. I can't believe I've done that.
My number 4 is a Chelsea man, and he's called Reece James.
Oh,
That's a
Alright.
shout. All right. Fair play to you. Reece James he's been good this season when he's fit.
Yeah.
I think when he's had his injuries and stuff, and when he's just had a knock, he hasn't been too great. But as soon as he's been fully fit, he's managed to make it into all of Lampard's teams pretty much, and Tuchel is now pushing into those teams. So, he's a class player. England's first debut was incredible. So,
yeah. And probably the first half of the season was the best right back in the league. So he's definitely up there in the young players. For my fourth one, it looks like for our fourth, we all initially at least went with Chelsea players, and I actually went with Callum Hudson-Odoi because I actually think he's underrated when it comes to like when people are always kind of debating between the great young English talents, Greenwood, Foden, Saka. I feel like Hudson-Odoi's kind of like just pushed away, and because he's obviously had a few injuries for a while and his form dropped off. But this season, I think, and particularly in the last couple of months, he's been maybe Chelsea's best player. He's been so crucial to how you progress the ball up the pitch, and his dribbling and his speed is back to his best. He looks great. Still, needs to work on end product a bit, but I actually think once he gets it off, he's going to be one of the best wingers in the league.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't actually put Odoi in at all.
Your own star boy.
But the reason
tally the amount of times you mentioned Hudson on this podcast.
Nah.
You love this kid.
No, I do. I think it's incredible. But the reason is the players that I've put in have pretty much done it for the whole season and have been up there for the whole season. Whereas Hudson-Odoi is only
penalising him. Not penalising him because he gets injured.
He wasn't injured at the start of the season. Was he
not? Did he not come from his Achilles at the start of the season?
No, his Achilles he came back from his Achilles last season.
That's a sticky one.
So no, that's why I haven't put him in. But I do rate Hudson-Odoi massively. I think that's mainly because of the Europa League he had with us a couple of years ago.
He was just under Sarri. He was really killing it then, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's surprising because Sarri doesn't usually play young players.
But I suppose we move on to number 3 next. I reckon we've probably all got the same players in our top 3.
I definitely don't.
Oh, really?
I'm going to put it out there right now. I definitely don't.
You say who you got for number 3 and then...
Anyway, my third choice is, shockingly, Pedro Neto, because he's a baller. In terms of statistics, in young players in the league, he is right at the top for chances created, dribbles,
do you know what it is?
ball progressions.
Every Wolves fan I've ever asked about who your favourite Wonderkid is like, Neto, because obviously you don't meet a Wolves fan outside of Wolves really, but every time you're like, Neto is actually one of the best youngsters in the league. He actually is, but no one notices him. And every time, no matter what, without fail, I guarantee, if you're listening, to this podcast, if you just speak to a Wolves fan, and just go to them like a Jehovah's Witness and be like, tell me about Fabio Silva. Not Fabio Silva. Tell me about Pedro Neto. Count to 20. And by the time you're finished, they would have mentioned statistics.
How can you not?
100%.
His statistics are amazing.
Like, did you know? It's like, Jehovah's Witness. Like, I always expect the Wolves fans come knocking door to door.
Fun
and
fact of the year.
Hi, I'd like to let you know about our Lord and Saviour Pedro Neto. Did you know statistically Pedro Neto has got the best dribble percentage in the league? It always happens. It happens.
It's a little party trick.
It happens.
It's a little party trick.
Do you know why? Because Pedro Neto, unfortunately, is
amazing.
Club, and he just doesn't play attractive. It's the football style of Wolves isn't as attractive as other clubs, and I think that's why it's so not rated.
Well, he's relied upon pretty heavily to do a lot of our attack for us. More than probably any young player in the league. He's like so crucial to how we play, and that is probably part of the reason why his dribbles are so high and his ball progressions and stuff are so high, because he is like our main outlet for getting the ball up the field. We give the ball to him and Adama Traore expect him to just dribble up, which is not a particularly great tactic, to be honest. But I think it's just, I don't think you can criticize him for that or take anything away from him for that, because he's, this is his first season as a regular starter, and he's come in and become like the talisman of the team in the absence of Raul Jimenez, and become a leader, at the age of 20. And he's like almost carrying the team on his back for the past 2 or 3 months at least. I don't know where we'd be without him. I'd be really concerned about where we'd be without him.
Although I know for a fact Neto is going to be watching this. I'm going to give you a top tip. I'm going to give you a top tip, lad. Don't listen to your mum when it comes to football.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Yeah, I'll start.
You know what I think?
To be fair, he didn't shoot so much in the last game, and to be honest, I wish he shot more. So it's like,
Do you know what I think it is as well? I think, he's not coming from a Big Six club, which is, a big deal when it comes to like, being a Wonderkid talent. Because I think Dwight McNeil is a bit underrated as well. He's a prospect. But also, I think when you compare to like other Wonderkids that have come through in the past, when you look like Phil Foden's like up there with some of these other Wonderkids at the moment in terms of progress he's making, in terms of, Cesc Fabregas's or who else is like a talisman from like young, like Rooney. Rooney, well, maybe not as good as Rooney, but like when you look at how good Rooney was at that age, and then you've got Neto, who's
the problem is they slip off a lot.
Statistic merchant, yeah.
But
if you watch him play, that's not true, Jacob.
But anyway, sometimes. Jacob, who've you gone for number 3?
Yeah. Do you know what? I honestly forgot that I hadn't said mine yet. My third one was actually Mason Greenwood, and it was only because I was struggling. But honestly, I did mine backwards, and I was like, is Greenwood better than this person? No, but everyone talks about Greenwood. I have to include him, otherwise I'm going to get a mob.
Yeah.
And I did include Greenwood. Mainly because last season was so good.
I was going to say, last season. Yeah.
Last season, he teared everything up. Was it Europa League last season he was in? He teared up the Europa League.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the league, he was banging in goals. Granted, against lower league teams, but if you're doing it against any Premier League team, no matter what, if you're scoring goals against Burnley and Sheffield United, those are very physical teams. They usually get very physical towards the bottom, hence why Wolves are so physical. They used to be down there. If you're scoring against those kind of teams, then that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Come and do it. Werner couldn't do that. So
Mason Greenwood's like a top quality talent. Absolutely. I think I haven't included him in my top 5, and that's not to say he's not an absolutely top talent. I think he's going to be a amazing Premier League striker, I think, for a long time. But that's part of the thing. Like, we haven't really seen him as a striker. We've almost exclusively seen him out on the wing, where he's he's not rapid. He's quick, but he's not rapid, and he's not like a top dribbler. So you can tell he wants to be up front because his movement in the box is really good. We know he's a good finisher.
That's the thing. He can shoot on left or right. It doesn't matter. And he can find us.
His accuracy is just chef's kiss.
But
but we haven't seen that this season. So
yeah, and I think he's less complete than some of the other guys that we'll be talking about, and there's a lot to his game that still has got to improve. He's a great finisher and his movement is great, but some of his link-up play, like I said, his dribbling, his physicality, I think that could get a lot better. And at the moment, I just don't think he's anywhere near as important to his team as the other guys that we're talking about, like Fofana, Neto. These guys are super crucial to their teams. Greenwood's not quite there yet for me.
Yeah, but talking about importance, my number 3 was Melier.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
didn't expect that.
Hey, I'm coming with that sauce.
Little pick out. Scouting on him. This guy. I don't remember in my football manager say if he wasn't real. Honestly, Melier's actually been a revelation for Leeds.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, he's just been, doing a madness. I know he's got a cheeky own goal against Wolves,
but it wasn't exactly his fault, the own goal.
Oh yeah,
no. I mean, it was Dharma's quality.
But I think it was just luck out all round.
And it's just bounced. It's like he's dived and it's just bounced off his back. You can't flip around that quickly to stop that from happening.
Save that.
But, if he could, he should be.
I think he gave Arsenal the stinker though.
Yeah,
but other than that, he's been.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Melier. I think because he's got a bit of stick, I think, this season, and understandably because he's a bit mistake prone, I think. when he's on the ball.
He's young,
But you have to expect that he's a 20-year-old keeper starting in the Premier League. Like, just that fact alone is super impressive and makes him worthy of mention in this. His save percentage is really good. In terms of like the expected goals difference of how many they should have conceded and how many they actually have conceded. That's in his favour, and that's a really good sign. For that to already be happening at such a young age, I think he's going to be an absolutely top keeper. I could definitely see him as France number one when Lloris retires. Probably.
I think
3
he's
or
knocking
4
on the
years.
door now. I think he's knocking on the door now. He's making himself known.
Yeah, to be fair, he should be getting in, especially ahead of some of these like League One ones. Like, was mine had the Lille one. Him, and like he's better than him. I can't think who else even.
Areola, I guess, Fulham.
Yeah,
he's all right.
Areola, the problem with Areola is because he's a good he's actually a top class keeper, but he's always going to be second best if he stays at PSG.
Yeah.
It's a shame. He needs to go somewhere else. And until he decides he needs to move on.
Yeah.
He's going on loan to Fulham.
He's done really well at Fulham. He's done really well at Fulham this season, hasn't he? But like he could Areola's better than Jordan Pickford, for instance.
Yeah.
Like Areola would easily
it's not difficult
be the
to be
number
better
one.
than Pickford.
That's true. But Areola would easily be the number one at somewhere like Everton or West Ham. So but anyway, we're not talking about Areola, we're talking about Millier. He's a great keeper and fully justified, I think, to put him in the top 5.
So number 2, I might as well say mine now because we've already spoken about him. I've put Pedro Neto.
Nice.
There's not really much else to add on.
Yeah.
On what we said about him.
That discussion's been had. My number 2, Jacob will approve. I've put Bukayo Saka.
There we go. I was gonna say, like, Steven, are you alright?
Mate, I'm boycotting him.
Not only have I backed your men with Hudson and Mount, even though I bottled it with saying Mount because it's not even 20 or under. I was there backing you. You can't put your pride to one side and back my star boy.
I just give him another year. I think give him another year.
Don't listen. You listen, you. It's okay. I don't want to hear it.
That's fine.
I remember. I will remember. And one day, when it's a vote, because this is a 3-person podcast, I'm just gonna be like, remember you did put Saka in your top 5, and then you'll remember. But listen, I can't believe that. Honestly, Saka has been a revelation for our club, and he's completely carrying us. I mean, you can tell, like, when he doesn't play good, we struggle. Creativity, I think, in front of goal because Burnley didn't do very good, and we drew.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to bite at this because it'll end up going on for too long. But my other point is, right, I'm going to say it and we're going to drop it afterwards. But you say he carried you, right?
You got to say it.
He says he carried you, right? And you're in what position in the league? And I can turn around and go, Mason Mount has carried us. And we're in what position in the league?
You can't make a point of that. I just told.
To be fair, I agree with Jacob here because like Neto has carried us and we're in 12th. So
yeah,
but he's just not good enough, is he? He should carry you more.
No, it's that's different because you spent.
It's not my fault.
£250 million. You shouldn't be getting carried by a teenager. Whereas we haven't spent as much money as you. And honestly, on paper, we don't have as much quality as you. Although, that said, Willian has got more assists than Ziyech and Pulisic combined this season.
Lad, they've been injured for how long? Come on.
Put that out there.
They've been injured for like the whole season. Get off it.
Remember when everyone laughed at Robbie from AFTV? Winning's a better player than Ziyech.
Let's not forget. Let's also not forget our striker is Timo Werner.
Not laughing now, are you?
Let's not forget our striker is Timo Werner.
Let's not forget it's been raining.
So, but anyway.
Listen, all I'm saying is, right, it's fair, but I think it's fair to say Saka's carried us because we haven't had the best of seasons and he's still shot. It's very easy for someone at his age to, be influenced by the sort of poor performances we've been showing and then just, decide doesn't want to fight for the club anymore.
Yeah.
Very easy. And you see it happen all the time in different clubs, and even in our clubs happened. But, he still fights, and I think that's what makes him so special. And he still gets goals and assists. I'm pretty sure he's got some of the most chances created now in our club. And I think he definitely got the most assists since the start of the calendar year. So, I mean, I think it's harsh to talk about where we are.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's just a cheeky comment to chuck in there.
So we'll start fighting it, really.
But who have you put in second then, Jacob?
You already know who I put in second. My star boy, Saka. I don't want to go into too much again because we've already spoken about it. But yeah, I put Saka as my second one. Is that? Do we also have second? I'm about to go for
Bingo!
I think we can all agree on.
Hey!
Bro, are you okay?
I chuck in the confetti. Go on, pop up the confetti.
Has he done
He's
it?
only gone on one.
Oh, he's done it.
only
No
gone
way.
on one.
What?
Oh,
So
I didn't expect
just
this
to
at all.
just to fill this in, right?
I'm
so
confused.
We played a game of bingo, Jacob. It's at the start of the video.
Oh my god.
And I put in 4 things that you would say.
Yeah.
And
You put a bingo in without me.
and I've won. So
Oh, scenes.
Oh,
Mine's
So,
gone
yeah.
terribly.
hang on. Can I hear this bingo? Let me hear the bingo.
All right,
card.
I'll give you mine first because you
Bingo.
actually we said 4 things each that we reckoned you'd say.
What phrases that I'd say?
Well, just like topics we thought you'd raise and stuff. So I thought you'd say the referees in the Premier League were corrupt. You came very close to saying that, but then you actually said I don't think they're corrupt. So you moved away from that. I thought you put Martinelli in your top 5.
I had it in my other one for under 19.
Yeah. I thought you'd say the big Premier League games are boring, which you did. We all said that, to be fair. So that was my one. And I thought you'd bring up Balogun, which you still could do, but it's too late now.
yeah, I mean, so first of all,
What was yours?
I said you'd mention Saka in your top 5.
Oh my god.
Right, which I knew you'd rate. I put, and bearing in mind, some of this was done before the Arsenal game, right? So I said you'd rage at your own player. So Xhaka, thank you so much for that, mate. That was perfect.
Wait. When did you do these bingo cards?
I made mine ages ago.
Ewan did his on Friday, I think. I only did mine today because I forgot.
So 2 of them, right? Rages at your own player. So there's Xhaka that worked wonders, and rage at an official. So VAR, thank you very much for that.
Oh my days.
And I said you'd argue with me because it's just inevitable, isn't it?
You did it because he does it on purpose. Honestly, I think Sam gets the win for that because you know how to ruffle my feathers. It's not. Can't do that.
So anyway, back to the top 5 because I won that bingo.
But this is done wonders to really increase.
Do you know what?
Right,
for that, Ewan, you've lost your card because you argued with me, but actually you instigated that yourself. Oof. Therefore, I'm going to give Sam the win by saying my number 1 is following Balogun.
He still doesn't get the corrupt one, so it doesn't matter. He's all gone. But yeah,
I can see the victory to Ewan. Even though my choices were far more risky than his, and he just went absolute guarantees.
I'd like that PayPal of £50, please. Got Sam tonight, so you know.
Do you take V-Bucks? Right. I got a plug.
but anyway, back onto the
I think
top 5.
this has really done wonders to increase the suspense for who is our number 1 pick. But realistically, we've all picked the same person.
We all know
so,
it's just 3, 2, 1. It's
Phil Foden.
Foden, yeah, I put Foden.
The kid is crazy. You can't put him anywhere else. I mean, the amount of contribution he does and the way he sort of filled in the David Silva gap is just, I mean, it's mad because David Silva is one of the best, creative midfielders to ever grace the Premier League. And he has, I wouldn't say he's, completely filled his boots, but he's done a decent job. And, can play on the wing as well. And he does a great job. He chips in with goals and assists. He doesn't even look like a Wonderkid anymore at this point. He just seems like someone who just is a player now, and he's just a very good player. Yeah, just behind the likes of De Bruyne and Sterling, and that he's not far off at all.
Mm.
He's
just incredible.
He's absolutely got to that point now where kind of maybe a spoiler for something we're going to do in a couple of weeks, but he's absolutely got to be in the England squad, maybe starting. Pretty close debate there.
Yeah.
Certainly give him a few starts, but also could have a big impact off the bench. He had a pretty good impact off the bench in the Manchester derby just now. Although he missed a pretty good chance, but he brought a lot of energy and creativity. They certainly created a heck of a lot more chances after he came on the pitch. He had a big positive impact, and he should have started the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
call it a lapse in judgment.
Yeah,
cost them the game, and it ended 2-0. And I think this is going to end 1-0 to Ewan. Beating Sam at bingo without my knowledge. Unless there's anything else you want to add, I think we should just wrap it up here.
Yeah, that's
all
sounds
good.
about right.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the Empty Podcast. Another scintillating episode for you and your eardrums. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any sort of topics, Q&As, hit us up in the comments. We want to answer your questions. If you want to hear our opinions, we got you.
Yeah. Go have a look at our Twitter because we'll put out a Q&A tweet.
Yeah.
So go hit it on there
TikTok,
as well.
Instagram, all
Definitely
that.
check out the TikTok. It's blowing up right now.
Go look at that. Yeah, for real. Because obviously, we've got sauce in it, but we don't want to just. We want you to see the main parts. That's all on TikTok for you. So go check out all of those. Spotify, iTunes, you already know all that deal.
Yeah. Everything in the description.
Yeah.
See ya.
Peace.
I see you driving around town with the girl.